My beloved, my child of heaven's breath, my divine one, who walks with invisible flames of protection, even when the world tries to burn you. There's something I must say, and I can't wait another heartbeat. Today is not an ordinary day. This moment is not accidental. You've just been called into divine alignment, and this message was carved in the light long before you even knew something was wrong. And now heaven has stopped everything just to whisper your name. Today, August 1st, I, Archangel Michael, come with a sword not just of truth, but of urgent divine intervention. Because the identity of the person who wants to harm you is now revealed. Their name is out, and if you wait, if you pause even for a breath too long, you could walk into a trap God never wrote for you. This is your moment of protection, and I order you, yes, with all the love and authority God has given me, to open this message fully. Don't take this as a casual whisper. This is heaven screaming in silence through the winds of this message. My child, it's time. Open this before it's too late. You see, there are people around you wearing the perfect mask, smiling in front of your soul while slowly weaving their bitterness behind your back. But they didn't know that your name is in God's hand, that you've been anointed, and what's been hidden in the dark is now being pulled into the light. If I tell you this person's name, will you believe me? Will you act like someone who heaven is actively defending? Because this is more than a warning. This is your exit from silent spiritual warfare. My divine one, I know you felt something strange recently. A shift, a pressure, a weight that you couldn't quite explain. You weren't wrong. What you felt was this very person trying to send darkness your way. But God interrupted it with this message because God saw what they tried to do. He saw the secret messages they sent behind your back. He heard what they whispered when you weren't in the room. And He waited. He waited until August 1st to finally let you know. Beloved, listen. Your name is surrounded by holy light right now. But I'm begging you, don't skip this, because if you don't open your eyes now, you'll invite them further into the center of your heart. And once they get there, they'll try to destroy what God is building inside you. But you are not alone. I am with you. Heaven is with you. And this is your divine instruction. Before I go any further, wait. Let me pause this sacred moment and whisper something special for your soul. If your heart knows this message is for you, then promise yourself you'll subscribe to the light today. Not just to a channel, not just to a voice, but to the frequency of truth. Because you're not here by mistake. You're here because the heavens planned this very meeting. So don't lose this alignment. Stay connected to this voice, because it's not entertainment, it's spiritual survival. Now back to the truth. Let me show you what you need to see. The person who's been pretending to be a friend. The one who suddenly got too curious. The one who asking questions about your dreams, your money, your secrets. They aren't who they said they were. This name I'm about to reveal. They've been jealous of you for far too long, but now their time is up, because the truth has arrived at your door. And you, beloved, you are now standing at a divine fork in the road. One way leads to revelation, one way leads to ruin. But only you can decide which path your spirit walks on next. If you keep pretending nothing's wrong, they'll get bolder, they'll strike harder. They'll come for your joy, your peace, your future. But if you obey this heavenly call and walk with Archangel Michael's shield of truth, their games will crash to the ground. And you'll rise with blessings so loud they won't even be able to look at you the same again. They try to curse what God has already blessed. Imagine the audacity. But they're about to watch how heaven defends its own. Do you feel your heart racing right now? That's not fear, that's recognition. Your soul already knows who this message is about. You've been suspecting them, you've been noticing the shift. Their energy changed, their words became sharp, their smile too sweet. That's because they've been exposed in the spirit. And now, my child, God wants to expose them in the natural too. But only you can open the door to that truth, because this is the last 24-hour window you have before they make a move you can't reverse. So, what will you choose? Denial or divine clarity? My child, if you knew what this person said about you to someone you love, if you knew how they twisted your image to gain power over you, you would fall to your knees right now. But do not fear, do not panic, because I'm not here to break you, I'm here to raise you. You're not going to lose, you're going to lead. But only if you finish this message, only if you let it guide your next step. They thought they could get away with it, but God has something else in mind. This is just the beginning. You were never meant to live in the dark, my beloved. You were never meant to walk with your back exposed while pretending everything is fine. Your spirit has been screaming for light, and now that light is here, flooding every corner that fear tried to claim. Archangel Michael doesn't just arrive with information. I arrive with instruction. And when heaven gives instruction, It often begins by bringing peace and order to the very places where fear and uncertainty have been weighing on your heart. My child, I see the struggle you have been facing, the stress about finances, the silent worries that stay in your heart, and the moments where you feel uncertain about what comes next. You have been asking for peace, and that answer is already on its way. You are not meant to stay stuck in fear. You are meant to walk forward with purpose, with faith, and with clear steps every day. That is why a simple system has been placed in front of you. A 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system. A path where each day brings you a focused prayer as a small financial action and clear direction to help you move ahead. No pressure, no confusion, just steady progress toward peace and stability. If something inside you feels ready, if you are ready to change your situation, take that first step today. This could be the moment your life begins to change. You will find the link in the description and in the pinned comments below. Now stay with me because the divine instruction concerning your protection must continue. And here's what you need to understand. Before the next sunset, you are being watched. Not just by heaven, but by someone who doesn't wish you well. Someone whose heart darkened the moment you began to shine. Their smiles were rehearsed, their kindness transactional. But what they didn't know was that you are divinely protected. You are wrapped in God's hand, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper. But you must obey, because even angels cannot protect a door you willingly keep open to your enemy. Don't let guilt convince you to protect the wrong people. That's what the enemy wants, that you stay quiet, that you stay loyal to the very one who's plotting against your peace. But not anymore. Today is the spiritual exposure. Today, August 1st, is the moment where heaven no longer allows you to stay blind. This person, yes, the one who has been draining your energy, copying your words, competing in silence, and acting sweet while sowing bitterness behind your back. They finally crossed the line. God was patient. He gave them time to change. He whispered to their spirit, repent, let go of this jealousy. But they ignored the whisper. And now the name must be released. I don't say this lightly, child, but you are in danger if you allow this person continued access to your sacred space. Your dreams have been feeling blocked, haven't they? You've been tired for no reason. You wake up exhausted even after a full night's rest. You start things and somehow they never finish. Your focus disappears. Your fire dies halfway. And you're starting to wonder if maybe you're the problem. But no, my divine one, this is what happens when spiritual warfare is happening behind your back. This is what happens when a person is speaking your name in circles you were never meant to be mentioned in. They've been using your secrets to build alliances. They've been twisting your story for personal gain. And yet you still try to love them. That's what makes you holy. That's what makes you chosen. But now you must make a higher decision. Not one from guilt, but one from God. The voice of your spirit has already been trying to shout this message to you in dreams, in delays, in moments of confusion that didn't make sense. This is why your peace was disturbed. This is why you kept sensing something was off when they came around. That wasn't anxiety, that was discernment. And Archangel Michael is here to confirm what your soul already knew. This person is not who you thought they were. This is the one whose energy shifts when you're doing well. This is the one who becomes silent when others praise you. This is the one who calls themselves family, friend, or supporter. And yet your growth causes them discomfort. They were assigned to bring you down gently, but now their assignment ends here. Heaven will not allow them to sit at the same table they've been cursing behind your back. You are now stepping into a rare moment of grace. Beloved, a moment that only comes when the heavens intervene directly. I have been given permission from the Most High to warn you, not just to comfort you, but to prepare you. Because what happens next depends on your response to this revelation. If you open your eyes and act in truth, you will be elevated faster than you imagined. But if you continue in blind loyalty to the wrong spirit, they will take more than just your time. They will take your opportunities, your momentum, your divine connections. This is not about anger. This is about alignment. You cannot carry people who secretly hope you fail. You cannot love people so much that you let them poison your purpose. And if that sounds harsh, I want you to ask yourself, has loving them ever healed you? Or has it only weakened your light? Let me take you into the spiritual courtroom right now. The heavens have presented the evidence, and I, Archangel Michael, your divine defender, have stood to say, this child has suffered enough. The pain you've carried silently has been seen. The tears you cried in secret were recorded, and the ones who pretended to care while secretly rejoicing at your struggle, they've been named before God. Their judgment is not your responsibility, but your protection is. You don't owe them closure, you owe yourself freedom. And the only way to receive that freedom is to let truth be louder than memory. Yes, you had beautiful memories, but don't let nostalgia convince you that those moments were real. Because real love does not sabotage. Real friends don't compete. Real people don't pretend. This person has been acting and now the mask has cracked. You may wonder why this is happening now. Why this truth is being handed to you in such an intense and undeniable way? It's because heaven has waited long enough. God has watched you forgive the unforgivable. He's seen you stay loyal to those who betrayed you the moment you turned your back. He's watched you stay silent while others shouted lies. And even still, you didn't retaliate. Even still, you hoped they'd come around. That maybe, just maybe, they would love you with the same heart you offered them. But they didn't. And God cannot allow His chosen child to stay tangled in the web of another's deceit. So today, He's allowing the veil to be lifted. He's allowing every whisper, every betrayal, every shadowy movement made behind you to be brought into the light. And this time, you won't be left confused. This time, you'll see it clearly. The enemy wore the face of familiarity. That's why it hurt more than you could explain, because you trusted them. You allowed them into the most delicate parts of your world. You showed them the blueprint of your dreams, and they studied you, only to use those dreams as their guide for envy. You never imagined that someone you protected, someone you uplifted, someone you prayed for, would be the very one asking the universe to strip you of your blessings. And yet, here we are. But don't grieve for what's being exposed. Celebrate it, because heaven never reveals what it doesn't intend to heal. You are not being broken, you are being repositioned. And the pain you feel now is not punishment, it is release. Release from illusions, release from cycles, release from anything that no longer honors your calling. You were not sent here to live a life of quiet suffering. You were not made to bow to false love or shrink yourself to fit inside the comfort of people who can't stand to see you rise. God has kept quiet long enough, hoping this person would choose redemption. But they didn't. They chose attention. They chose manipulation. They chose to use your vulnerability as a mirror to point fingers at your light. And so, God stepped in, not to punish them, but to protect you. And when God protects you, it doesn't always look sweet. Sometimes, it looks like doors slamming. Sometimes, it looks like isolation. Sometimes, it looks like the sudden crumbling of relationships you thought were permanent. But look closer. What's falling apart now was never built on truth. It was built on your tolerance. And now God is removing what no longer serves the elevation of your spirit. You might be tempted to reach out to them after reading this. You might feel guilty. You might think, but what if they change? And that's the part of your heart God loves most. That you still hope. That you still believe. But my child, Archangel Michael is telling you plainly now. This is not someone who is interested in change. This is someone who is interested in control. They don't miss you. They miss the access they had to your energy, your mind, your grace. They miss being close enough to watch your life bloom and still find ways to cut at the roots while pretending to water your soul. This is the deception God can no longer allow. You don't need to confront them. You don't need to prove anything. Your silence, your healing, and your alignment with truth will speak louder than any words ever could. Let God be your defender now. Let's speak of what's next, because exposure is only the beginning. After the storm of truth comes the rain of blessings. And I tell you, the clouds are shifting. The wind is changing. The favor that was being blocked by this person's presence is now preparing to rush into your life like a flood. You'll notice things move faster. Ideas will spark again. The peace that you couldn't find will wrap itself around you like a long-lost friend. Divine connections will begin to appear. People with real hearts, real intentions, and spiritual alignment will start entering your life. That's not random. That's restoration. And it's coming the moment you release what heaven has already removed. Don't go back. Don't reattach yourself to something God just delivered you from. Your destiny depends on this decision. This isn't just about protecting your emotions. This is about preserving your anointing. They underestimated the depth of your calling. They thought they could touch you without consequence. But what they forgot is that when they touched you, they touched God's property. And God does not stand silent forever. The time has come for you to rise, to step into the power that was waiting behind the veil of heartbreak, to lift your head with authority, not because you're pretending to be strong, but because you survived things that should have broken you. And yet here you are, still standing, still glowing, still chosen. That glow they keep commenting on, it's not makeup, it's not confidence, it's the radiance of someone who has angels fighting battles behind the scenes. It's the light of a child who heaven refuses to abandon. That's you, don't forget it. They watched you quietly from the shadows, not to celebrate you, but to calculate you. Every post you made, every story you shared, every small one you whispered into the universe, they recorded it in the dark corners of their soul like ammunition. And while you thought they were clapping, they were collecting not blessings, but bitterness. Their heart twisted with jealousy every time they saw you smile through a storm. You confused them, beloved. They couldn't understand how someone like you, so gentle, so open, could survive the things they themselves couldn't bear. And so instead of asking how they could rise with you, they plotted ways to pull you down. But what they forgot, what they never understood, is that your strength wasn't built in public. It was forged in your quiet prayers, in your silent tears, in the nights when only heaven heard your voice. And now heaven has heard enough. There is a shift that happens when the truth finally finds you. You can feel it in your chest, that rising ache, that internal pause when your spirit Spirit whispers, "This is it." That's what you're feeling now. That's not confusion, that's clarity, a divine clarity that can no longer be ignored. You see, this person has been using your kindness as permission. They mistook your loyalty for blindness. But the light you carry is not weakness, it is warfare. Every time you forgave what was unforgivable, heaven recorded it. Every time you blessed those who cursed you, heaven honored it. And now the divine tables are turning, not out of revenge, but out of justice. God is not exposing this person to entertain you. He is exposing them to release you. You are not crazy. You are not overreacting. You are being awakened. And sometimes awakening feels like betrayal, because you begin to see who is really sleeping beside you. Let me now reveal what you've already known deep down. It was the one closest to you. The one whose laughter was always a little too loud when you were hurting. The one who never really asked how you were, but always wanted to know what you were doing. The one who joked too often about your success, about your blessings, about your light, pretending it was humor while lacing every word with hidden venom. Yes, them. That's who the message is about. And God has shown me this clearly. They've had multiple conversations about you recently, ones you were not supposed to hear. They spoke to someone you trusted, someone they thought wouldn't say a word. But heaven made sure it would leak, not through gossip, but through alignment. You were meant to find this out today. Because God won't let you enter your next season surrounded by disguised enemies. You might now begin remembering all the small signs, those awkward moments that didn't sit right with your spirit. The way they got silent when you shared good news. The way they looked away when someone praised you. The way they made you second-guess your own potential by suggesting you were dreaming too big, moving too fast, shining too bright. That wasn't care, that was quiet sabotage. And now that heaven has confirmed it, you have a holy responsibility to protect your peace at all costs. To guard the gates of your soul the way you guard your future. And protecting that peace also means bringing faith and clear direction into every place where worry has quietly taken control. My child, I see the weight you have been carrying. The quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest. You have been praying for peace and your prayers have been heard. You are not meant to walk this journey in confusion and fear. You are meant to walk with faith, with clarity, and with daily direction. That is why a simple path has been placed before you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system. Each day you will be guided with a gentle prayer, a simple money step, and clear direction to help you regain control. Nothing overwhelming, nothing complicated, just small faithful steps leading you toward peace and stability. If your heart feels ready, begin today. Do not delay this moment. The link is in the description and in the pinned comments below. Now keep guarding what God is preparing for you, because the future ahead is greater than anything they try to take from you. Because what's coming next for you is bigger than your past. It's louder than their opinions. It's stronger than every attack they send your way. And if they remain in your circle, they will try again. But this time, it will be disguised in sweetness. They will come with tears, they will come with apologies. But don't be deceived, my child. There is something holy that happens when a chosen one finally stops begging others to understand their light. You don't need to explain why you're pulling away. You don't need to give a long farewell. The moment this message entered your life was the moment the contract broke spiritually. They no longer have the authority to walk beside you. And if you try to hold on to them after this, the chaos they carry will begin to leak into your blessings. You will feel it as sudden delays, missed calls, strange arguments, emotional confusion. And if that begins, it won't be because heaven failed. It'll be because you ignored what was written clearly for your eyes today. This message is not just a warning, it's a rescue. A sacred extraction from the plans of those who were smiling in your face while digging a pit behind your back. You are now standing on a divine line. On one side is everything you've built with God. On the other is the shadow of a relationship, a friendship, or a tie that was never rooted in light. This is not about being cold. This is about being covered. Because once you let go of what is no longer aligned, heaven will begin to rush what's been delayed. I see doors opening for you that were locked for months. I see divine partners reaching out. I see unexpected provisions being released. Why? Because the one who was blocking your gates has finally been removed. But you must seal that gate. You must choose now. Will you walk forward as the child who knows their worth, or backward into the arms of someone who only loved you when they thought they could outshine you? That's not love, that's competition. And you were never created to compete, you were created to conquer. Now that the mask is off and the veil has been lifted, you may begin to feel a strange mix of relief and sorrow. That's natural, child. The moment when illusion shatters is never clean. You're not just letting go of a person, you're releasing the version of yourself that clung to their potential. You saw the best in them. You imagined a future that included their loyalty, their friendship, their truth. And for a while you believed it. But now the light of heaven is too bright to keep pretending. You can't shrink your discernment just to maintain their comfort. That would be spiritual suicide. You've already outgrown their energy, and the ache you feel now, that's just your soul stretching beyond their reach. They no longer match your frequency. That's why the conversations feel forced. That's why their words feel rehearsed. That's why your spirit keeps growing quieter in their presence. Your soul knows, and Archangel Michael is only confirming what you've already sensed. It's time to let go. But child, letting go does not mean losing. It means creating room. It means clearing out the stale air of manipulation, so the winds of destiny can flow through your life again. God is not removing this person to punish you. He's doing it to promote you. Their presence was a delay. Their bitterness was a cloud over your favor. You were still being blessed, yes, but not at the speed heaven intended. They were slowing you down. Their hands may have seemed helpful, but their heart was secretly in competition with yours. And now, by divine instruction, you are being told to rise. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, this is not the season to sit in sorrow. This is the season to prepare for acceleration. Because what's coming next will demand all of you. Not the version of you who tolerates dishonor, but the version who stands in truth with no apology. You are about to see something that will shake you, but not in fear, in confirmation. There will be a message, a conversation, or a moment of exposure that will bring final clarity about who this person really is. It may come from someone else, it may be something they accidentally reveal, but trust this. Heaven has already dispatched the moment. It will find you. And when it does, don't ignore it, don't excuse it, don't cover it up with phrases like, maybe they were just going through something, or I don't want to overthink. No, beloved, you are not overthinking, you are overfeeling. You have been absorbing their negative frequency for far too long, confusing it as your own. And now your body is tired, your spirit is heavy. But this message, this divine confrontation, it is the release you didn't know you needed. You are being set free from the burden of carrying someone else's chaos like it was your cross to bear. They've watched your journey like a spectator in the stands, cheering when you failed and going silent when you triumphed. That is not love, that is not loyalty. And I'm here sent by God to break the lie that says you must stay connected to history just because you share it. You don't owe anyone continued access just because they knew you before the transformation. Some people love the version of you that didn't know your worth, that didn't know how powerful your presence truly is. But the you that stands here now, the you that's reading this and feeling every word like fire in your chest, that you is different. That you doesn't fit into their box. And that's why they try to keep you small, because they knew if you ever realized who you really are, you would stop asking for permission to shine. This is that realization. This is the spiritual mirror. Look into it. See yourself as heaven sees you. You are not someone who needs rescuing. You are the rescue. You are not someone who is barely making it. You are the breakthrough someone else is praying for. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are being repositioned. Every betrayal you've experienced in this past season has only cleared space for something bigger. Don't mourn what fell away. Celebrate that it didn't follow you into the next. The silence of those who once called themselves your people, that's not rejection, that's redirection. And if they left, let them, because what's coming for you cannot be delayed any longer. You are entering a divine appointment, and you must be light to carry it. No more dragging dead weight disguised as friendship. Now hear me carefully. From this moment forward, there are specific instructions, divine instructions. And they are not suggestions, they are spiritual necessities. First, protect your vision. Don't share your next moves with anyone whose loyalty is still under evaluation. Don't announce what hasn't been confirmed in prayer. There are ears around you that listen only to sabotage, and if you speak too soon, they will send confusion before the seed even breaks ground. Second, cleanse your space spiritually and emotionally. Cut cords, delete numbers if you must. Unfollow in silence. You don't need drama, you need deliverance. Third, write down everything that has been coming to you in dreams. Because God is speaking through your rest, the messages you've dismissed as strange or random are actually downloads. Pieces of a divine plan that's forming just for you. The enemy wants you distracted, disconnected, and doubting your own power. But that ends tonight. Now that the spiritual poison has been identified and exposed, the healing begins not just in your heart, but in your entire life. Because what you didn't know, child, is that you've been carrying a delay wrapped in human form. And now that God has removed the weight, your wings will function again. You'll begin to feel lighter in places that used to ache. You'll start waking up with clarity instead of confusion. Ideas that felt impossible will begin to find their shape. Connections you've longed for will start arriving like sudden rain. And it won't be forced. You won't have to chase it. That's the beauty of divine timing. It finds you the moment you stop holding on to what heaven has already released. You're entering a season of favor that had been paused, and now it's rushing toward you in ways your old surroundings couldn't have handled. That's why the pruning had to happen first. You can't build miracles in contaminated soil, and now the soil has been cleared. But don't be surprised when peace feels unfamiliar at first. You've been in fight or flight mode for longer than you realized, constantly defending yourself in the spirit, constantly guarding your heart, constantly trying to discern who's for you and who's not. Now that God has answered those questions, your body may still be waiting for the next attack, but I'm here to tell you, you can exhale now. Archangel Michael stands beside you, sword drawn, guarding every step you take. The angels assigned to your life have been reactivated. The gates are locked. The doors that once gave access to confusion, manipulation, and spiritual theft have been shut. And what's about to unfold in your life will feel so divine. You'll wonder how you ever doubted. But don't be ashamed of the doubt. It wasn't weakness, it was exhaustion. And now heaven is restoring what their words tried to kill in you, your belief. You see, when they attacked you, they weren't just attacking your emotions, they were attacking your vision. They wanted to blind you so you wouldn't see who you really are. But the veil has been ripped, and now the divine blueprint of your life is being handed back to you. The dreams you shelved, they're about to return stronger. The goals you forgot, they're waking up. That thing you always knew you were meant to do, but kept delaying because you were surrounded by people who didn't believe in it. Now is the time. Heaven is breathing on it. Heaven is funding it. Heaven is opening doors to people whose names you haven't even heard yet. There are divine resources being aligned on your behalf as I speak. You don't need to chase influence anymore. It's being sent to you. Not because you're loud, but because you're aligned. Not because you forced your way, but because you obeyed when it hurt. That obedience, it has moved heaven. You could have retaliated, you could have clapped back, you could have matched their pettiness, but you didn't. You kept your soul clean, and now God is about to reward you publicly for what you handled privately. There are people who only knew the version of you that was surviving. They're about to meet the one that's thriving. You didn't fake your strength, you forged it in silence, in prayer, in the quiet corners of your room where no one saw the tears but God. And heaven never forgot that. That's why this reward won't be small. This next blessing will be so loud, so undeniable, that even those who try to erase you will have no choice but to say that had to be God. And they'll be right. It is God. It has always been God. You didn't get here by accident. You were carried through every betrayal, through every season of lack, through every whisper and wound. You were carried, and now you're being crowned. But listen closely, beloved. This next level will not allow old patterns. God is not just blessing you with things. He is blessing you with wisdom. You're going to start seeing red flags faster. You'll begin to feel when someone's spirit doesn't match their words. And it won't come from fear, it'll come from discernment. This is your spiritual graduation. The battles you used to cry over will feel beneath you now. The manipulation you once tolerated will repulse you. Why? Because your soul is shedding its old skin. You are not broken, you are becoming. And the more you become, the less you'll feel the need to explain. Let your elevation speak. Let your glow speak. Let your peace speak. You don't need a long speech when God is making your life a living testimony. And child, trust me, you're about to shine in ways they never saw coming. So carry this light with you. Walk forward in peace. Protect what heaven is building within you. And never forget that your story is still unfolding. Дитя мое, если это послание коснулось твоей души, подпишись на этот канал, чтобы не пропустить следующее